really no banana tree left standing. It's not a very, well, it could lean on a banana tree and it topples over,
Definitely.
right? If we could keep the pictures up, because we do have extensive material there, it's a very, very vulnerable crop. And when the tree's knocked down, it's gone.
It's gone. And in addition to the wind, I must say that there was a lot of rainfall. And like you said, the images on the screen, it tells the full story. If you look there, that aerial view of that's one of the Jamaica producers' farm there in St. Mary. Again, extensive damage. Assessments will be carried out in the days ahead, but those images, again, say it all.
And they may be able to reap some of these bananas, but pretty much a lot of them would probably still be young because they're generally in different stages of growth. But if you look at that, that's just acres, that's just flat.
Flat. And plantings too, bananas, again, in addition to the wind, the water too. There was a lot of water in on the eastern side with the wind and so forth. And again, that speaks to that.
And what this means is that over the next few weeks, we're going to have a shortage of ripe and green bananas, which are essential to the Jamaican diet.
In fact, thanks for pointing that out. I was speaking with Agriculture Minister Floyd Green about 24 hours ago, actually, and he already said that that's something they're bracing for. Again, with St. Elizabeth expected to get hit, he said they were bracing for crops like these, you know, to be wiped out and stuff. They're also talking about plans already, but again, the assessment will need to be carried out to figure out the extent of the damage. And as you said, over the next few weeks, again, sad to say. But
and it will be a few months before you can replant new suckers for the banana, these banana plantation, and for them to grow several weeks before we get Jamaican bananas again, which, you know, a lot of people know when we import or have to import bananas, they tell you that they just don't taste the same as the ones that we grow here. There are other parts of the island, of course, that do plant bananas, but St. Mary and Portland are generally the two of the biggest planters of bananas. Let's move a bit now to the junction, which is a critical road between St. Andrew into St. Mary and Portland. And that road has been pretty vulnerable over the last few years. The soil, as Stephen Shaw has told us on occasion, is not the most stable.
It's not the safest because the Wagwater River basically runs beneath that surface. I did a story a few years ago about the type of rocks that are also there and just the soil, very vulnerable area there.
And this year what we're seeing, this is the junction?
Yes, it is. That's leading into the junction. Trust me, it required great skill getting here, Milton. I'm telling you, coming into Kingston, again, you're looking at the roadway there, that's in Friendship Gap. This tree that was in the roadway was so big that they had to, the two tractors they had could not move it. They had to call persons with power saw to move it. They chopped it. They moved sections of it, and that's exactly how they tried to get rid of this.
So you were perhaps sitting there waiting for the road to be cleared at some point?
We were sitting there basically waiting. You see the residents there just looking on. That's when they finally got it over. Some were sitting there for about 3 hours, they say.
Wow. And of course, also in the junction, several down power lines?
Down power lines as well, down trees in addition to the power lines. Again, some residents are without electricity. That's also one of the reasons they say that they're working extremely hard to get these things out the way because they don't want to hear the JPS saying, hey, roads are blocked, and that's why they want.
This looks like a back road. I can't believe this is the junction.
This is the junction.
And of course, landslides also.
For sure. Cannot, you know, landslides, and I tell you what, again, if it continues to rain,
there'll be more landslides.
There'll be more landslides in that area.
Because again, as we said, it's shale is the soil, the rock type.
I think it's one of those sedimentary rocks.
It's very loose, and literally as soon as water touches it, it starts to move. And as you said, the Wogwater River, which is you see there, when that driving shot, would be to the east of it, to the right of it. It literally is under the junction.
If I could just jump in, these power saw men working, trust me, they're genius. I have to give hats off to them. Milton, they were running these power saw, they had to take turns. You see that tree in the roadway there?
That's a massive tree.
That's a massive tree. They took turns trying to get this thing out the road.
Bit by bit, chopping a little bit here and there.
Bit by bit, moving the pieces.
Wow. So, and the road is just almost single lane traffic for the most part.
For the most part, yes, because so what happened is, even when they moved the trees from out the roadway, it's not out completely. So that it's still, let's find an area to put it, and that's boulder.
And then you look at that huge boulder that rolled off the hill.
Yes.
And luckily nobody was driving then.
Exactly. Look at this one here again.
Look at this. They barely have a roadway to drive there.
Barely. Have to be moving.
That's going to require serious work in the junction. All right, Anthony. Anthony Lugg reporting there on what happened in the junction, a critical artery between St. Andrew and St. Mary and Portland, and of course the devastation suffered by the banana plantation. If we could get the footage of the junction up again. This is in Anotta Bay, that famed cemetery. So even concrete utility poles have fallen.
Yes, concrete. Again, the surface in those areas.
The soil became soggy, and so is that. But let's go to the airport's schedule reopening. If we could get that graphic up of the airport reopening schedule. The government has released the schedule for the reopening of the 3 international airports in the country. Oh, we're not able to get the graphic up? Okay, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll just wrap up our coverage here.
Greatest privilege. You've welcomed us into your homes, your cars, and your lives. As Radio Jamaica celebrates another milestone, we do so with a renewed sense of purpose and commitment to serving you, the Jamaican people. We remain active for the good of our nation. Salute to #Boss Radio, Jamaica's heartbeat, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Radio Jamaica 94 FM, celebrating 75 remarkable years of connecting generations, preserving legacies.
Before we go, just want to give you the schedule for the revised opening schedule for airports across 4 p.m. for relief flights. That's today. It will reopen in the morning for regular commercial flights. That's October 30, Thursday. The Ian Fleming International Airport will reopen tomorrow morning also at 7 for commercial flights. So both the Norman Manley and Ian Fleming International will reopen tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. The Sangster International Airport, meanwhile, relief flights will begin tomorrow at 10, but officials say a decision on commercial flight resumption will be announced after assessments are completed. So Norman Manley relief flight started at 4. I know aircraft were pre-positioned in the Caribbean and in Florida to come to bring relief into Jamaica, and those started or should have resumed at or restarted at 4. Commercial flights will begin tomorrow morning from Norman Manley and from Ian Fleming International, and Montego Bay's Sangster Airport will have relief flights only tomorrow starting at 10:30. All right, then they'll make an assessment about when commercial flights will resume at Sangster International. That's it for now until primetime news at 7, where we'll have a comprehensive wrap up of the day's activities and what's been happening in all those communities devastated by Hurricane Melissa. We will have that for you in primetime news at 7. I'm Milton Walker. Good afternoon. Welcome. And I